I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm the host of Best of Us Investors. My channel is changing. It's growing as I'm growing in my knowledge of how to identify stocks that are going to make me wealthier. And I'm not here really, the more I get into this, the more I realize that all I want to do is share what I'm doing. And then you make a decision if it's right for you or wrong for you. And if you like what I'm doing, I just ask you to do me a favor, and that is to like this video with a thumbs up and subscribe to it. That'll help my algorithm, and it'll put my videos in front of more people. I think what I have to say is important. I think it's different, and I think I can help make some people wealthy if they will follow what I'm doing, and if they'll really educate themselves. This is not a channel where you come and I give you the next tip and you make $1 billion. No, this is a channel where I'm going to ask you to contribute. I'm going to ask you to read and to study and make yourself more knowledgeable so that you can make me more knowledgeable. I'm going to ask you to share your knowledge with me by becoming a member of our Patreon group and taking an active role in your future, and that is to educate yourself. I mean, it's so damn simple that if you look at who the wealthiest people are in the world, they are the people who have educated themselves in a focused area, and then they have strived to become the best at what they do. Well, then why don't you do that? It's not just guessing, it's having an education and a formula which you follow to make a good investment decision. And you follow that based on what you've learned from past history. If you come to my channels, I'm going to constantly be asking you to read books so that you become knowledgeable. Okay, yesterday I did a video and we had a mistake in it. You didn't see an Excel spreadsheet that I wanted you to see. And so in this video, I'm going to correct that mistake, and then I'm going to take you to the specific stocks in the healthcare revolution, specifically towards genome editing, that I think you need to gain some position in, because I think they're going to give you astronomical payoffs. Okay, that's what this channel's about. That's what Kerry's about. Now we're going to find out what you're about. But first of all, I got to tell you, I'm not your financial advisor. Be right back with you.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Grinkmeyer.
Before I go any further, there's a video I did back on September 6th that I just watched again this morning, because it is one of the what you would call evergreen videos that I have that people continue to watch, which is unusual in the investment video area. It was the September 6th, and I explained that Clem Chambers, who is a writer for Forbes, had just discovered, he's a conservative investor. He doesn't hold stocks for a long time. He had just discovered Editas and CRISPR, and he makes the statement that these are two stocks he wants to put in the vault and just never touch until his grandchildren inherit them. And so I want you to see that video. Okay, if you'll watch that, you'll get somebody else's opinion. And I like to say that Clem is just jumping on the bandwagon of what Kerry has said and what Walter Isaacson has said, that this is the biggest thing since the digital revolution, and it's going to be bigger as to its payoffs. And that's what I want to get to now, and that's the chart that I didn't show you because of a technical problem that I created. So first I'm going to review the payoffs if you had discovered the digital revolution, if you had discovered e-commerce, if you had discovered the EV early on, what kind of payout you would have got. And then I want to take that and I'll show you how I then mechanically said, what is the potential payoff of these genome editing stocks? So let's take a look at that. Okay, this is the Excel spreadsheet that I mistakenly did not get up on yesterday's video that I wanted to just briefly go over. And what I did was basically show you the effects of the digital revolution, the e-commerce, the social media, and the EV relative to the major stocks. And you can see I've used Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and Tesla. And I'm basically showing you if you had bought them in their early stages, if you had recognized the digital revolution in October of 1990 and bought Microsoft at 90 cents and Apple at 79 cents, that's their split adjusted price today, that you'd have $2.7 million in Microsoft, 1.8 million in Apple. And then I did the similar thing for Amazon, Facebook, and Tesla. Then what I did was I said, okay, let's just take an average of these gains that they had, the multiples that they gained, and I came up with 110 was the average. Now I know that's over different years, it's different measurements, but I needed something to give myself an idea as to what would be the potential gain in the genome editing, the genome sequencing, and the pharma IE and protein sequencing stocks. What I want to focus on today is the genome editing. And I'm looking at Editas, CRISPR, Beam, Intella, Caribou, and Invate. And these are all stocks that I own. And I said if they, at their current price, if I bought them, and they got this average of 110 multiple in 8 years, what would I have? Well, in all cases, I'd have, for my $10,000 investment, I'd have $1,100,000, as you can see here, because it's merely a multiple of current value of 10,000 toward multiplied times 110. Now, what I've done over here is I've shared with you the amount of money that I have in each one of these stocks at this time. And so I'm showing you that if in fact they do increase, as I believe they will, a multiple of 10, what my holdings are going to be worth in 8 years or before, as far as that goes. And I'll show you why I say it might be before. And you can see these are the numbers that I would end up with. So now let me show you why I say it might be before. What I did here was take my trading views chart and adapt it to those stocks, to the CRISPRs, the Editas, the Caribou, the Invate, the Beam, and the Intella. And I went back to November of 19 when I first started watching them, and I want you to notice the volume and how they really didn't do anything because nobody was paying any attention to them, particularly through the time of the coronavirus. And with that being said, then you see that they started picking up some interest as the news media started telling us that the reason we had a vaccine so quickly was that we did some genome sequencing of the virus to find out what made up the virus and what in fact we could do to create a vaccine to kill the virus. And that's where the news started coming, and that's where you saw some interest now coming in these stocks that I own. Now then I also wanted to show you that in roughly May, Beam took, Beam is the the light blue one here, it took up a push up. And that was because it got a lot of press and said that it used a novel way to use CRISPR chemically to take out the variant, not the variant, but the mutation from our gene, whereas these others use more of what they call a scissors method, a mechanical method, if you will, by using the natural cell fighting element of our body called CRISPR. There's just one stock that happens to be named the same, to take that mutation out, whether it be cancer, whether it be Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, or whatever. Then the other one I wanted to show you was Intella. And in roughly June of 2021, it had a clinical study, first round clinical study, where they tried their therapy on, I think it was 8 people, and 6 of those people had positive results. One of them, whose father and brothers had died from this liver disease, he was found to be totally cured. And you can see what happens when they have results that are reported and the market recognizes that Intella is an undervalued asset, it explodes. It went up from where it was back in September of 2019. It went up 1,141%. Well, now as the market it loses interest, it goes other ways, it reacts to other things. It's come back now to where it's only up 793%. What's important about recognizing in this is that when something positive happens, when the market recognizes, oh my God, that might be an undervalued asset because they are going to change the way we live, and you must believe in the healthcare revolution or go away from this video, because that's what this is all about, and that's what I'm going to be about, because I believe these stocks, Beam, CRISPR, Editas, Caribou, Invade, will each have their day in the sun that, yes, we have found a cure for this, and the market will recognize we have an undervalued asset, and they will skyrocket. And then they will far exceed, I believe, the past history that we've seen from the digital revolution, and the e-commerce and the EV and the social media revolution, because it's so much more important to our life. It's our life expectancy. It's our lifespan. It's what's going to change the world in a way that is not even comparable to the digital revolution. And as I've shared with you in other videos, other people have said that. So that's what I'm so excited about. That's what this channel is going to focus on. And that's if you want to be a part of the next major revolution, which is going to be bigger than any other EV digital revolution, you need to educate yourself on this, understand it. That's the first thing. Understand it and then take part in it. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about how you can become a part of this movement through Best of Us Investors. That's my logic. That's the way I look at things and say, how can I gain a competitive advantage in the investment markets so that I don't have to play the short game, that I can recognize what's going to happen in the future. And again, just reviewing, the coronavirus is the most important thing that has happened in my 77 years, and it is going to make the biggest difference in my, if I live to be 87, in my 87 years, because it may extend my life to 97 or 107, because they are going to be able to take the diseases that will potentially kill me out of my body. They will be able to recognize that, Carrie, your mother died of cancer. Carrie, your father died of cancer. Carrie, your daughter died of cancer. You will probably die of cancer. And by the way, let's go get your genome sequenced and see if, in fact, you have a mutation, a cancer mutation in your body, and if we can take it out. If we can do that, and I believe through the Editis, CRISPR, Beam, Nutella, Caribou, Invade, one of those companies will have the therapy, or another one, which you and I will discover, will have it, and will take it out of our body, and we will live an unexpected long life. The other thing that I've talked about in my September 6th video is they're also going to be able to take it out of my granddaughter's egg and her husband's sperm, and it'll never again be in the Grinkmeyer bloodline forever. And if then Alzheimer's should show up, they can take that out. If heart disease should show up, they can take that out. Now, my thesis is this is bigger than the digital revolution. It's bigger than the iPhone revolution. It's bigger than the e-commerce, and it's certainly bigger than the EV revolution. So the payout is going to be bigger as well. So that's why I want to be a part of it, and that's why I'm comfortable with it, and that's why I'm asking for your help, because it is the payout is so damn big potential that if we miss something and some other company shows up, maybe its name is Sherlock or Marathon or whatever, and you, Mammoth, that's what it is, and you and I figure out that's going to be the one. That's going to be the one that's going to cure cancer, and we figure it out collectively, because it isn't going to be just me. I only got one mind. I can only read so many books. But if you become a part of it and you commit to it and you say, yeah, Carrie, I want to be on your team. I want to be a part of your tribe to make sure we're all a part of this, we can't lose. We can't lose. It's like we've discovered oil before anybody else realizes the potential of oil. We've discovered the key to life. And as I showed you in that chart, the volume shows us the world has not woken up to it. They had a glimmer, and then they weren't, and went and focused on something else. So, if you want to be a part of this, and please, if you're willing to read books, if you're willing to study, and if you're willing to communicate, come to Best of Us Investors and become a part of our Patreon, and show up at our Friday Zoom meetings when we share our knowledge openly so that we all can make better investment decisions. If that's something you want to be a part of, and if it's something that you, in fact, want your children and your best friends and your brother-in-law to be a part of, share it with them. Share it with them, and subscribe so that Google recognizes this Best of Us Investors is on to something, and we need to put it in front of more people. That's how my channel will grow. Without your help, it won't grow. Without your help, we won't be assured that we don't miss the horse that's going to win the race. We're going to bet on them all, and we're going to spread it amongst them. Okay, that's my take. Again, I apologize for the screw up on Monday's video. I think I've taken care of that. But this is what I'm going to focus on in the future. Beyond that, I believe that we are facing another revolution, and that is bringing our supply chain and our manufacturing back to this country, and that's going to present some investment opportunities. One of the things that is driving that is the position that China is taking, and we need to focus on that. And that's going to be the kind of things that I'm going to be talking about in future videos. So let me get on that. I got another book to read, and we'll talk again tomorrow. I promise you, we'll talk again tomorrow.